This nonprofit provides services to thousands of New Jersey families with children who have special needs. A discussion about YCS is next on Cablevision's Meet the Leaders. Welcome to Meet the Leaders. I'm Debbie Duhame. No matter what their age, Youth Consultation Service, more commonly known as YCS, provides services to families who have children with special needs from birth through adulthood. Some of these children have been affected by trauma. They are separated from their loved ones and reside in group homes, while others have intellectual and developmental disabilities that adversely affect their behavior. Joining me to talk about the services provided by YCS are Aslam Ali, the Assistant Vice President of YCS Sawtelle Services, and Diana Chipkin, a parent of a son who attends YCS. Thank you both for being here. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Aslam, I'll start with you. How long, first of all, have you been in this position with YCS?
In my current position, a little over a year, but I've been with the agency since 2001. Started out as a teacher aide, helping students with autism in the autism school in Montclair, the Sawtelle Learning Center in Montclair. So it's been 15 years almost.
You worked your way right up.
Yes.
Tell us the benefits and what you've seen, the benefits of YCS and how it's helping families here in New Jersey.
Well, the benefits are extensive. YCS as a whole is a behavioral health agency. We service youth with autism and developmental disabilities, but as well as other challenges that families and children would face outside of the autism and developmental spectrum. And YCS covers so much of that throughout the state. So the benefit has been largely helping families, children, get back to a point where their lives can be hopeful, more happy, more meaningful, and get through some of the tougher times that they might be going through in their experience raising children and being part of that growing.
Now, Diana, I know that you have a son with autism, and I know that that YCS has helped you tremendously through the years. Tell us a little bit about your experience.
Well, things were wonderful until the age of 15, 16. Adolescence is a difficult time for kids on the autistic spectrum. The raging hormones that everybody knows about kick in, and that certainly happened with us and Daniel.
And how did YCS help you? How did they intervene? I know I saw a little bit on the web about how they actually would come to your home and help you.
Well, I can never forget Aslam Ali. He came in with an amazing lady, Jackie Maddie, who is a YCS behaviorist. They came to my house. They did an assessment of Daniel. They met Daniel, they met me, and they came up with a behavioral plan. And it was incredible. Jackie would come, the behaviorist, several times a month, meet with Daniel, meet with us, and would constantly update the behavioral plan. And this behavioral support plan was like the Bible. It's in a book. And in-home staff was assigned to us on a weekly basis. They would come into the house. They would greet us. Very warm staff, amazing. I love the staff for YCS. They would come into our house and always read that behavioral support book first, look to see what people on previous shifts had experienced with Daniel, if there were any new behaviors, and adjust what they'd be doing for the day based upon that book. I can't go on enough about how professional the staff at YCS is.
Awesome. How do you actually evaluate each individual with autism and prepare a plan like this?
Okay, well, Debbie, actually you hit on it when you said individual. So when I first met Diana, we don't go in with a plan. We don't go in with a template. We go in, we have to meet the family, we have to meet the individual, and we have to design everything based on that specific situation. So it's very unique in that every family we work with is different, every home is different, and every individual is different. So the development is literally going in and talking to the parent, conducting our assessment, getting the information as far as what the challenges they're experiencing, but also what are the good things, because a lot of times, we generally want to focus on the challenges, but if we can find out what are the good things, what are some of Daniel's strengths, what is he like, what are some of the things that the family like doing together, that gives us a way to focus our attention and to put our energy to increase the positives. So it's a very tailor-made approach to every home that we go into. No real template, every family is different. How do you assess the needs and put yourself in a position to be able to support them get to their highest level of performance?
Now, Diana mentioned that with her son, it was around 15, 16, it was very difficult. Is that common? Is that something that you see?
Yes, that is very common. Adolescents, primarily, I've almost always worked with adolescents because that is the age where the youth are getting bigger, they're getting stronger. They are going through what we would consider typical teenage or adolescent things. They want more independence. They want to express their will a little bit more. But having the deficits and not really understanding how to do that can lead to some problem behavior. But with that age, they're also getting bigger and stronger.
And that's what I've heard from other parents, how difficult it is if you have a young man who's towering over mom, and how difficult that may be.
Which was Diana's case.
Daniel's 5'11".
Pretty big guy.
You're right.
So yes, that is a critical point where we see a lot of the aggression or the problem behavior starting to really surface and become problematic for a family. And a lot of our services are aimed at getting in and treating that so that youths like Daniel can remain home as long as they possibly can, and can also find future placements, independent living, things like that. Our skills are based on, we want to get them to independence, we want to get them to be able to manage their behavior, communicate, because a lot of what we find is that communication is the true cause of a lot of the problem behavior.
Frustration probably, right?
Right, no one understands what I'm trying to say, I'm not getting the autonomy that I want to have. So if we can teach these young people how to communicate, it will often alleviate some of those problem behaviors.
Diana, how often did somebody from YCS come to your house? Was it a weekly thing? Was it daily? How often?
2 shifts. We had a morning shift. And one other feather in Ali's cap would be that there might be times there would be emergency when we couldn't shower Daniel on our own.
Oh, wow. So you have help with showering?
We had help with showering.
Wow.
And we couldn't get him out the door to give him meds before he would go on the school bus. So that was really very necessary to have that morning support. So if there was an emergency, there was a time or two that Ali would come in. I'd say, oh my goodness, there's a big wig coming to the house.
You got the head honcho there. That's great.
Right. Well, what that is because a situation like that with someone Daniel's size and mom showering and wanting to get on the school bus is important. He's got to make it to school. If he doesn't make the school bus, that could lead to a problematic day. A big part of what we want to do is we want to eliminate things like calls to 911. So if mom's at home and she can't handle the situation, her only recourse might be to call emergency services. So if that's our staff, we're there. I think we were coming at 6:30 in the morning to get him up and get him dressed. And there was a couple of times that someone wasn't available, and I would jump in and say, okay, but I'd rather go than know what the alternative is that mom's in a bad situation. So yeah, and that's what I mean about the services being tailor-made. Sometimes it is, we have to start at 6:30 a.m. or we need to be there at 10 p.m. for bedtime. So wherever that challenge is, that's where we're going to do our best to try to make sure that the family has the resources that they need.
How do you train your staff?
Oh, well, that's a good question. Training at YCS in general is extensive. When you start in the agency in any type of direct care role, you would go through 6 full days of complete training. And then there's more specialized training in autism and ABA, those sorts of things, as well as direct training with the family. So Diana can attest to this. If someone new ever came to our home, they would come in and they would train a full day with someone who had already been acclimated, so that there's no relearning of expectations or that type of thing to kind of bridge that gap. So training is extensive, it's long, and we definitely try to make sure that our staff are well prepared for whatever they might experience when they go into a home. Our staff for our home care department is also run out of what's called the situational response team for the agency. So SRT is a group of people who are highly trained, highly specialized to really be able to go into any home or residential program and deal with tough situations. So they're versatile, they're experienced, and they go out to really mediate any type of
I'm sure it's
situation.
very, very helpful for the families. I want to get into some of the programs that you offer. I know that you offer certain daycare programs and sleepaway camp type programs. Tell us about the sleepaway camp, the day camp that is offered.
Well, actually, so our day camp, we started, I think this will be our 3rd year. We're doing it in Montclair. And that one we started actually because someone in our agency, we noticed there was some of our kids who were going to other camps, going to other programs who couldn't survive. They didn't make it. They would get sent home. They would have some extreme behaviors or some problem behaviors, and they really, just couldn't survive in those environments. So we started the day camp as a way to say, we need to find a place for these young people to go in the month of August when school is out, where there's nothing to do at home, and get them to do what typical kids do in the summer: have fun, do some learning, and just stay active and stay busy. So we started that in Montclair.
We're going to show some pictures too, so everybody could see, about the day camp. And
yeah, we started that, and that's been a great success. We haven't sent anyone away, and that's always our goal. We want to be inclusive. We want to bring anybody out to have a good time, and our goal there is really just fun, learning, but fun first, and it kind of will drive down the problem behaviors.
Tell us, did your son attend? Did he enjoy it?
Yes. There are 2 different programs. So you have the Summer Enrichment Program in Montclair, which is incredible. They go on into the community. They were taken to pet shops to pet the animals.
Beautiful.
It was so sweet. To Turtleback Zoo.
Oh, I love Turtleback Zoo.
Yes.
And at the end of the summer, this is the most incredible thing. We have an end of the year barbecue.
Fabulous.
And this was just to see Daniel was just a typical kid there.
That's beautiful.
No incidents, just seeing
Enjoying
him
it.
interact with the counselors, interacting with me, just hanging out with me
That's
and
beautiful.
the other kids. And the food was delicious too, I gotta be honest.
Yes.
And what about the sleepaway camp? There's a sleepaway as well?
Yeah, so
Daniel
the
attended.
sleepaway camp is the same concept. We wanted to bring our kids out, give them an opportunity to be in the wilderness, get away from the city, and do things that typical kids would do. Go across the zip line, get in a boat, and
fun!
do some paddle boating on the lake,
Canoeing, fishing.
canoeing, all of those things.
This is wonderful.
Nature walks.
So there's just so much for them to enjoy. How can we find out more about the programs that you offer?
Right. If you go to our website, ycs.org, you will see lots of information on our Sawtelle Services, our in-home services, as well as our day camp and our sleepaway camp. And pretty much there's contact information. You can always email us. And any help you need, whether you're a YCS parent or family or not, we will always help out any family, anyone who needs.
And quickly, what are the Sawtelle Services? What does that actually mean?
Okay, so Sawtelle comes from the school that was started in Montclair, the YCS Sawtelle Learning Center. So that was pretty much the first. That school services approximately 100 kids with.
So right at the school.
Right, at the
Wonderful.
school. That's where I started my career with
Right,
YCS.
right.
And now that Sawtelle brand sort of covers all of our programs that we cover for kids with autism. So that's our home care program, our sleepaway camp, our day camp, and our residential programs. We probably run about 15 programs statewide.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Aslam, and thank you so much, Diana. It's been a pleasure having you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate everything you do.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.